So, hello and welcome to the Joseph James Furniture Outlet YouTube channel. Many customers and others have been interested in how we started here at Joseph James, how we operate and what goes on from day to day.
Now, we thought the most interesting way that we could bring this to you was through video content. We don't quite have the budget of the Kardashians, but we hope you're going to enjoy what we've got to offer.
So we're going to show you the good, the bad and the ugly. 90% of our job is highly enjoyable. However, the other 10% can be stressful to say the least.
We have to deal with supplier issues, damaged stock, failed deliveries, customer complaints, and much, much more. There's a great deal of stress that comes with running your own company, but we hope by shedding some light on this, we may help or inspire those of you watching, or at the very least, you can simply laugh at our troubles. Now, before we get into the day-to-day of what goes on behind the scenes here at JJFO, we thought we'd take you back to the very start.
Yes, so just under 3 years ago, Joe and I left school at the ripe old age of 18 with little knowledge of what to do during our gap year. From buying our first £200 sofa to moving to 3 different warehouses across Manchester, it's safe to say we've come a long way. Starting with just the two of us, it's now a 10-man strong team of employees ready to fight to the death to make us the biggest outlet in the country. We're also generating revenues upwards of £1 million a year.
We are moving into a new 15,000 square foot retail showroom soon. So that means I've got a lot on my plate, from designing the signage to reviewing the details of the lease.
But don't you worry, the better half of Joseph James is going to take you on a trip down memory lane. Let's go. So it was just under 3 years ago, Joe and I just started our gap year. Well, he started his gap year because he was going to America the next year for university, and I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. I'd actually started working at a local toll booth, just to make a little bit of extra money on the side. But this was when Joe came to me after about 6 months telling me how he'd seen this microwave auction online. So we went down on the weekend, had a look around and saw they were actually selling sofas as well. So we did a quick search on the retail price and knew instantly that there was some sort of money to be made, as there was value somewhere. So initially we'd put in £2,000 each, as we thought this would be enough money to get us going. It turns out to this day we've not actually had to invest another penny due to the success that we've had over the 2.5 years. We felt that we could budget to around £1,000 for the first month to cover the rent. And then that would leave us with a healthy £3,000 to invest in some sofas and get the business going and try and get the name out there. And get more customers down. So yeah, let's head over there now. So the first showroom that we ever moved to was in Stockport. Now we didn't have a massive budget, so we knew that we didn't want to spend too much money on rent. However, we still needed enough space, as sofas are quite large, so we knew we were going to need around 2,000 square feet. It cost about £800 a month, was about a fifth of our starting budget. So fortunately, this site had a 24-hour access. So it worked in line with the fact that we wanted to have some sort of appointment system for our customers when we first started. Now we knew we weren't going to be busy enough to be there 24/7. So this just gave us the opportunity to be nipping between suppliers and have a schedule in place as to when we knew that customers would be coming in. So it was actually quite incredible the sales that we were able to do at the start due to the condition of the showroom. We quite literally had a river running through the middle and stagnant water all the way around the side of the showroom. This would create some awkward situations where you'd have to be apologising to customers due to their feet getting wet. However, we had to go through this at the start. So the first ever month we did around 13k revenue. We didn't pull much money out of the business as we knew we needed to keep as much money in there so that we could progress at as quick a rate as possible. Now, over the next 3 to 4 months, we averaged around 20 to 25,000k in sales every month, and this spiked to around 60k just at the start of lockdown due to the fact that we were still able to deliver despite the circumstances. So after about the first 2 months, we realised that we were starting to outgrow the showroom and we were going to need a little bit more space. As such, we decided to take the room above our current unit as well, and then after 4 months we also took the next room next door. So this gave us a total of around 6,000 square feet. So you may be wondering where and how we bought our first stock. So let's go and find out. to these auctions and bidding is great fun because you'll be bidding against all your local competitors. So you'll be seeing them week in, week out, and you'll be able to get a really good feel as to sort of which ranges and which styles you'd be able to maybe pick up a bargain on. So you'd be maybe have 50 to 100 people in the auction house, and then you'll also be bidding against people online as well. Now, the problem with these places, it is an absolute logistical nightmare. Try and get the stock out of there, into your van, and back over to your showroom. Sometimes you'd be queuing for 5, 6, even 7 hours just to be seen by a member of staff so that you're allowed to take the stock that you've already bought. Now, this can be very frustrating. However, at the time, due to the incredible prices at these auctions, sort of thing that you just had to go through before we were able to build the supply chain and eventually get rid of all the auctions altogether. So after around 6 months in our storage unit, we knew we were going to have to find somewhere a little bit bigger. After weeks of searching, we found a good option in Romley. So let's go there now and take a look. Well, so this is actually the second showroom that we moved to, Compston Mill based in Romley. This was only a 12-month lease that we had signed up to at the time. We knew it was a bit of a risk due to sort of the state of the facility and potentially the area, being able to get customers down here. However, given the price and the size of the unit, we found it very hard to not take it. So when we moved into this place, we knew there were quite a few problems that we were going to have to overcome in terms of the lighting of the showroom we knew was very poor. This really didn't help with sort of the photo area that we have where we're trying to get all our stock online. Problems with shuttered doors, even though the roof had leaks. I even spent the odd Monday morning chasing pigeons around the showroom to try and get them out through the shuttered doors, which wasn't too much fun. But these are the sort of things that you have to overcome sort of when you're starting a smaller business. So we had actually moved here during the height of COVID, so it was very difficult to sort of plan how we were going to get customers in and in safely. We ended up actually doing an appointment-based system, which sometimes would work great as you'd have continuous appointments throughout the day. However, there would be some days where we would have to make sort of an hour and a half, 2 hour round trip just to get to the showroom just for a 5-minute appointment. Now this can be very demoralising when you don't make a sale. However, these are the sort of things that we had to do to get off the ground. So the great thing about this place was actually the price, as we managed to acquire 8,000 square feet for a mere $3,400 a month, which if you have a look around is well below the going rate. Now we knew this wasn't a prime location in terms of retail. However, we knew as we were only going to be here for 12 months, we could use it sort of as a transition period. We were doing roughly about £30,000–40,000 revenue a month from this place. Yes, you'd have some better months, some worse months. You could even go for 4 or 5 days without seeing a single customer. However, you've got to get through these days, sort of build the sales back up and help you push on. So the lease was finishing at Romley and it was time to head over to Altrincham to see the new showroom. We saw a few different units. However, the one that we eventually moved to was the right choice for us. So here we are in the Altrincham showroom. It's safe to say that it's a little bit rough around the edges. However, it's a vast improvement on our previous showrooms.
Yeah, it's just a big leap from coming from Romley to here. However, that leap wasn't easy to do. It took a lot of men, friends and family to get all this stock here. As you can see, we carry about 200–300 sofas in stock, so moving all those from our old warehouse to here took some time.
Yeah, usually it's about a 2-day process to get everything over, especially with the previous showroom being about a 45-minute drive. It was about a 2-hour round trip just to bring 10 sofas over to the new showroom. So it just slows down everything. So it's long days and long hours.
Yeah, it cost us quite a lot as well. Say around £2,000 to do the whole move. You've got to hire vans, pay more staff, etc. So it's not a cheap thing to do.
So every time we move, we've also got to build a new photo area.
Yeah, it's very important to us that our photos are great, because we try and sell across the country, so those who aren't lucky enough to come down and see these beautiful sofas in person need to get a good idea of what they look like from far. So we take great time and cost into building photo areas. So in our last Romley showroom, it was a bit simpler. We used some wood, paint, etc. But for this job, we had to build a whole wall, use some fake brick foaming to replicate a brick wall, and lay down some flooring as well. So that also took time, probably cost another £2,000 just to build a photo area.
Yeah, it's also very difficult to know how the photo area is going to look until you have a good idea of the lighting during the day. As we have a lot of yellow light in the showroom, it turns out that the photo area we built isn't essentially ideal for the perfect sofa shop.
Whilst the lighting may not be ideal here, the location certainly is. We're in a pretty good residential and commercial area. We're on a main street in Altrincham called Atlantic Street, which is well known by people around here. We're also very close to a big retail park, which is always helpful for those who visit Home Base and Home Bargains, other home-related stores, who then find it quite convenient to pop here to look for their sofa.
We've also got a big yard space as well, so it means any of the cheaper sofas that we're not looking to sell online and in our showroom means we can easily take them out into the yard, photograph them and put them either on our JGFO Cheap Sofas Instagram page, shout outs, or on our Facebook page as well.
So yes, it isn't quite as straightforward as us receiving stock from the retailer like DFS or Next and then it being sold straight through Joseph James. In most cases, we get the brand new stock, which is sample stock, which they may use for photography or some of their cancelled orders. We do also get some of their customer returns, which can be varied in condition. Our main Instagram page, Joseph James Furniture Outlet, has been crucial to our success. At the start, we thought it was a great tool to use as it's free and we were able to get followers fairly easily. We did this by using a trick where we'd look at the accounts of other pages like DFS and some other outlets near us, and we'd look at the people who were following them and simply follow those pages. Now, that would alert their attention to us and they, in turn, follow our page. So that was what we did to gain about our first 2,000 followers. We didn't spend a penny on Facebook ads, Instagram ads. We've now got to a stage where we've got 12,800 Instagram followers. Our Facebook page, also called Joseph James Furniture Outlet, has been of great service to us also. We find our older demographic tends to use Facebook more than Instagram. We've also found that the reviews section of Facebook have been very important to us. We have great 5-star reviews across Facebook, and having those reviews can really help someone who's somewhat doubtful about ordering from us take it to that next stage of completing the order. So our social media pages are great advertisement channels, but ultimately the way that we get people to place orders is through our website. Our website was designed and made by myself. We didn't waste thousands on a developer or use any fancy technology. We simply made it from scratch, took some time, and it's taken many different stages over the years, but it's now in a good stage where people find it fairly easy to scroll through our available stock and place an order. We also offer options to spread the payment through our website. You can pay using card, PayPal, etc. And it's all very straightforward to use. Our showroom is also where we do a great amount of sales. For those who are fairly local and able to visit easily, they will usually do so they can test out and try the sofa themselves, as comfort is also a big part of the decision. We have had people travel far to our showroom. People have come from as far as London, about a 4-hour drive, Milton Keynes, and even the south side of London. They do this because we have around 300 sofas on display, so when you come, it's worth your while. You're not just going to see a few sofas and some swatches, you're going to see the sofa you're going to get and plenty of other options. We have felt the love from our customers over the years, as we've had people buy from us in multiple locations, from our Stockport unit to our Romley unit, and now all the way to Altrincham. We've had people buy from us in all three, and that's been greatly appreciated. The rent here was definitely a fair jump from what we've experienced before, roughly £5,800 a month. It was a bit overwhelming at the start, but we realised the sales that we got from being in this location justified the higher rent. Now, the size is also a fair bit bigger, which accounts for the rent as well. This is about 10,000 square foot total warehouse space. We only use about 8,000 for showroom, and the rest, other 2,000 is used for storage, and there's a sold area for wrapping stock that's sold before it goes out for delivery, and then also the photo area. So it's quite cramped and tight in here now. It wasn't quite like that at the start though.
Yeah, so the one thing I would say about this warehouse is that it certainly came with a few issues, from problems with shutter doors to leaks that we've had in the roof, especially during the winter time. Sometimes you'd think you'd be coming to work in the Amazon. We'd also have to dress extremely warm during the winter. We look like we're going skiing sometimes, especially through the winter months. So they were certainly challenges that we had to overcome. However, moving to the next showroom, it's all indoor, all carpeted, lots of heating, so I'm looking forward to it.
When we moved to this Altrincham warehouse around 10 months ago, it was only me and James working full time. Since then, we've grown our staff a lot, from 0 to 10. We started by hiring people through Facebook and stuff like that, which did run us into a few issues.
Yes, it's safe to say that I've had a fair few knocks from police asking for some of my warehouse staff. So it meant that as we progressed, we made sure we did much better background checks and tried not to hire anyone that was wanted.
We also didn't have anyone doing our admin, anyone doing our photography. So all these things me and James would do ourselves. And that's kind of what you've got to do if you want to start a company. You've got to be willing to take on every single role. But now we're able to hire James's auntie, Siobhan, to be the head of our admin. She takes care of processing orders, dealing with suppliers, dealing with customer service, which allows me and James to focus on a lot of other things. We also used to take a lot of our time doing the photography, which we now hire Jonathan to do. So each day he's here photographing all the sofas that used to go online, with a bit more experience than we had initially as well.
Yeah, so we have about 4 warehouse staff on rotation, 2 delivery drivers who are out every day apart from Saturdays, and our new videographer Lucas, who's doing an absolutely sterling job.
Behind the camera, yes, you can't see him. One of our big goals after we realised we would be fairly successful with Joseph Janes was doing a 100k month. It was a few months after we were in Altrincham here we were able to achieve that. In October 2021, we did just over £100,000 in sales that month. And fortunately, it's continued along that trajectory ever since. It is quite a jump. We never even, I don't think, crossed 50,000 before we got to Altrincham. So it's definitely proven to be a solid location and the sales reflected it.
Yeah, we certainly know that we can't rest though, as especially now that we're going to be moving to a new location and keeping this warehouse, we're going to be looking to almost double our revenues to stay on par with that.
Yeah, the costs are just going to keep going up, so we've got to keep revenues high, keep trying to minimise costs where possible, but certain things like rent and the added staff required can't be avoided. So yeah, we hope to keep buying sofas.
So one of the things that I think we do really well here is that we can get deliveries out really quickly. Anyone who comes and buys in store or online that's within 60 miles of our showroom will usually receive delivery same day or next day if requested. However, we do offer a service of storing their sofas for up to 3 months, say if they've got any renovations going on or they're just not quite ready for their new sofa.
Yeah, it's important for those who aren't quite moving into their house as well. We're also delivering nice and far as well now. We deliver to Scotland, London, Wales, all free of charge and within 7 days. The only delivery we do charge for is Northern Ireland because it's a fair trip over the pond, but that's only £69, so it's still very competitive with all the sofa retailers out there.
Believe it or not, we've also had sales come from Spain, from France, so we can accommodate for this. We will pallet all the sofas, send them out to the nearest port, and over they go to whichever country is requested.
Yeah, so things are going well here at the moment at JDFO, but we've got a lot of ambitions for the future. We want to keep this warehouse to turn into a nice, solid and structured distribution facility. So we're going to be bringing stock in, assessing it, sorting it, getting it photographed, then getting it ready to go out to the showroom. We hope you've enjoyed today's video showing you how we started Joseph Janes Furniture Outlet. Now, going forward, we're going to be giving you one weekly vlog, telling you what goes on behind the scenes here, showing you the customer service issues we have, the new stock we have arriving and how quickly it sells, and we may even throw in some giveaways here and there. But yeah, we hope you support what we're doing, enjoy it, and stick around.
Yeah, so please like, subscribe, and share this video, and we'll see you on our next weekly vlog.
Now, we're not quite professionals at filming just yet. This was our first attempt, so we're going to give you some bloopers here, not to embarrass ourselves too much, for you to enjoy and have a quick laugh at. For those of us, that is, no, that is,
Yeah, do
so,
Let in
you also,
So we, sorry, not.
that was brilliant.
careful with people. I can't get into that. So reviewing ollies.
Oh, was that? Sorry, go again.